Good morning. Are you here for codes? I think you're probably here for codes. I'm Guido. You're here for codes, but there's been a small problem. When I first signed up for this, I forgot that my Sunday coffee talks start about 11 by the time I get done doing them. So I just wanted to leave this little note for you, little snafu. I'm just kidding. You already saw it. It's down there in the description. I'm going to give you a quick spiel. There will be a coffee talk for my regular viewers. I'm working on that right now, but I need to kick this out to make everybody happy because it is scheduled for 0700. So you'll find it down there in the description. I'll splash it across the screen here real quick. And then I'm going to give you my spiel about Guido 1212 and why you might want to be a subscriber. So if you are one and you don't want to hear my spiel, then move along here. If you aren't one, please grab a subscription after this, or even right now if you like what you're seeing already. Talk a little bit about myself, give you the code splashed across the screen right there, and you can head off on a nice Sunday morning. Make sure you grab your coffee. We always have coffee on Sunday morning, so grab your coffee, grab your codes, go get your goodies, and enjoy your day on Sunday. But if you're going to stick around, let's do this thing. A little bit about me, which I did this at the beginning of my last code, but I didn't talk about me a little bit. If you're interested, I'm a retired U.S. Air Force F-15C driver. I've always been a gamer, and now I'm working on my second career, and I have extra time to do what was always my hobby and turn it into a bigger hobby, I guess, now that I've got a little bit extra time to do some of these things, and I'm not as busy saving the world or whatever I was doing. By the way, you're going to have to know that there's a lot of sarcasm. Hey man, I'm an older gamer who grew up in what was arguably the golden age of pen and paper and boxed gaming and the very beginnings of computer gaming. So my first computer gaming experience was on a Commodore PET, which I believe was something like 12 kilobytes or 18 kilobytes or something like that. And the games it had were very Pong-like. There was even a Star Trek game that had one Klingon and one Enterprise, and they're represented by a K and an E, that kind of thing, that level of gaming. And I would bang away making basic computer programs. You would type them in there, and then you would save them to a cassette tape, and it would take 6.9 million years for that thing to save and load. And if you had one thing wrong in the code, it wouldn't work. It was great. It was good stuff, good learning experience. But I grew up in that era. So I'm here representing some of us older gamers, and I hope the younger guys also find something, and gals find something on the channel as well. So I'm really trying to run the gamut there of all those things. But I think I've got a pretty decent and special insight into the beginning of gaming. It's been very fascinating watching it grow over all the years since I've been in it as a power user from the very beginning. And now I've started a company called 1212 Gaming, and we're doing a little bit of game development ourselves as mostly a hobby, although we'd like it to take off. So that's a little bit about myself and what I'm kind of about. So specifically for World of Tanks, what does that mean? Well, I've been playing since 2011. So in October, I will have been playing this game for 8 years, which is probably the longest run on a single game. Although a couple games like Civilization and a couple others I've probably played just about as long, though various versions of it. But for no kidding, one version of a game, even though it could be argued that this is not really the same game that started 8 years ago. This is a record for me, and I've really enjoyed it. Obviously, I've played it a lot. I've got over 80,000 games. I've unlocked every tank in the tech tree. I have all the tier 10s in my garage, and probably most of the 5 to 10s. Not probably, definitely most of the 5 to 10s. Slowly buying those as I go. I have 22 3 marks. I might be slightly above that. I have 331 Ace Tanker badges. And basically I play every class. So I will feature artillery on the channel, TUI. I will feature TDs, lights, mediums, heavy, everything that goes with World of Tanks. Frontline. The only thing you won't see me feature very much, if at all, are some of the organized clan wars things. That's just something, I have more time, but that is not one of the things I have sunk my time into in retirement. I may get to that at some point, but that train may have left the station. Overall, this is a learning channel. When I started it, one of the things I wanted to do was start to help people learn how to play the game, get a little bit better at the game, some of the ins and outs, and see if they can't increase their colors. Because when I started the channel about 2-3 years ago, I was very much into the whole XVM thing. I'll leave that aside for now, but I'm just kind of talking about what was the genesis of things. So I started doing replay reviews. I'd say, hey, do you have a game you have a question about? You'd like me to take a look at it, maybe come up with something you could have done better there. In my professional life, that is something I did every day in an execution or in a brief execution debrief format. So I sort of brought that kind of real world, serious face kind of thing into gaming, and not to turn the gaming into a serious face thing, but just to use some of the techniques there, the best practices, as you will, to aim it at gaming and do it in an enjoyable way, but actually do some learning while you're doing it, while we're doing it, which is a great thing about my channel. You will find there's a lot of interaction between the subscribers and myself. I will do, like I said, replay reviews. I'll do tank reviews. I have a lot of tank reviews since I became a community contributor, I don't know, 5-6 months ago. Every new premium that comes out, I have done a review on. Every new tank tech tree line that's come out, I've done a review on. And that actually started before I was a community contributor. So probably the last year and a half, you're going to find a review on nearly every new tank that's come out in the game on my channel. Just look in the playlists under tank reviews, and you'll find a good portion of them. I've even thrown a couple of the older ones in there as I've gone back to those tanks. Specifically, one example is the T-54 that I just did. Somebody said, hey, I'm working on the T-54. Could you do a review? And I said, sure. So I did a review on the T-54, even though it's been out for goodness knows how long. I will feature your great games and learning games. So the reviews as a learning type of review or as a learning type of video, but I will also feature your great games. So we can learn from those as well sometimes. Even if it's a great game, there are always going to be some mistakes that we've made. So I'll feature those. Hey, feel free to send those in to me. Send me the link to the wattreplays.eu. Don't send me a direct file. I'll take the link to wattreplays.eu. I've had a couple issues with links, and there's more of you now, so sometimes I don't know what I'm getting. But that's the best way to do it. Either send it to my email or send it in-game on the private messaging in the forums, or potentially an instant message here on the client. I just want to recognize it. Look at that beautiful Churchill game carrier right there. You have to love that thing. I'm trying to 3-mark it, which is why it only has 2 right now. I'm working on it. Okay. Where was I? I also have another feature called Map Room. I'm working on that. I only have about 4 maps in there now, but eventually I plan to cover all the maps with some tactics and techniques on how to do the maps. Today, for example, and every Sunday, I'll do a webisode called Coffee Talk, where we'll just basically talk and riff about World of Tanks, what's gone down in the week, what's coming up, all that kind of good stuff. I'll even do a little shilling in there as we dig through the shop and see what's for sale, what's worth it, what's not, all that good stuff. On Monday, I have Miserable Monday, which is basically all fails. And we have a good time with that one. I do take some of your fails. It's mostly my fails, just to kind of keep it a little light. Here's all the funny things that happen in World of Tanks. You know, you're driving, and 30 seconds later, you've been hit blind shot by Artie and ammo rack. That kind of good stuff right there. And the last thing is new, which I'm starting. And I've already had a couple of my subscribers tell me not to go to the dark side, but I have been messing around with ships just a little bit. And we're going to have Ship Saturday, so I'm going to do some stuff on ships. In that case, I would not claim to be an expert at all, but we're going to look at it as more of a power user, an experienced wargaming player coming to one of their other titles and being a noob, and see how much fun we can have with that one. So that is my spiel, a learning channel, retired guy, living my second childhood, having a really good time, enjoying my interaction with all of you out there, and just trying to grow the channel and see where it goes. You know, having a really good time with all this. Thanks for coming by. The code should have already gone by. It's also down there. Enjoy that. Have a good Sunday tanking. Grab your coffee. And the actual coffee talk will be coming out in several hours when I get done with it. All right. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. And if you stuck with me this long, thanks for listening to me babble. We will see you.